Welcome to episode 123 of Build Your House Yourself University by BYHYU. I'm your host and fellow student, Michelle Nelson, and together we'll learn the basics of home design and construction and demystify the building process so we can better understand our options and build quality dream homes with or without a general contractor. I just came back from the Tulsa, Oklahoma Parade of Homes. The real estate market in the Tulsa area is pretty underrated. There are beautiful homes and neighborhoods there, and I love their parade. This is my third or fourth year going. Like always, this parade of homes allowed me to see what features are popular in new construction, at least in that part of the country. I also saw some features in homes that gave me pause. Features that we should definitely think twice about before putting in our new homes. That's what I want to talk about in this week's episode. Lots of builders build what they've always built in the past. And it's easy because it's easy to do what you've done dozens or hundreds of times before. And they also do that because they don't go to House or Pinterest to study design features that today's homeowners want. To each his own. And you have the right to design your house any way you want. If you like it, I love it. But I want to give you a list of a few things that I saw that are questionable design features, mainly because of lack of functionality and poor use of space. But a couple of things made the list purely because of aesthetics. But again, it's your money, your house, and your taste should reign supreme. Just realize that some of these features may be hard to live with, and some might discourage potential buyers in the future. Here's my list of things I saw in the Tulsa Parade of Homes that you might want to think twice about before including in your new house. Number 1, bowl-shaped vessel sinks. Vessel sinks are bathroom sinks that sit on top of the countertop instead of being inset into the vanity like a traditional drop-in or undermount sink. Colorful bowl-shaped vessel sinks became very popular in the early 2000s, but these admittedly pretty bathroom fixtures are now past their prime. I saw only one colorful glass bowl-shaped vessel sink in the Tulsa Parade of Homes, and it was pretty, but it looked dated. It may be tempting to put a couple of bowl-shaped vessel sinks in your new house, but think twice about that before you commit. They may make your brand new bathroom look very 2001. Plus, vessel sinks are usually more expensive than regular sinks, and they require more cleaning because they produce more countertop splashes than regular sinks. Not only does the countertop need to be cleaned more often with vessel sinks, but the outside of the sink will need to be cleaned, which is not an issue for traditional inset sinks. Finally, vessel sinks are more prone to chipping and breakage because the sink's edges are exposed. If you still have your heart set on a vessel sink, despite those disadvantages, go for it. But consider a white vessel sink, maybe in a rectangular shape, with clean lines and a low profile, where the edges of the vessel don't come up so high, and put them in bathrooms that are not used very often. Take a look at the show notes for an example of a dated vessel sink and one that looks more current. Number 2, white furniture. White furniture is great for homes that are being staged for a parade of homes or for photographs. I'm a big fan of white. In fact, I had an all-white wedding. But white furniture, or very light furniture for that matter, it just isn't practical for about 90% of us. White cloth fabric and even white leather can stain pretty easily. When I bought my car about 8 years ago, it had cream leather seats. I chose a car with cream interior because it looked pretty, and I knew that most days I would only be going to work and back, so I thought that I could keep it pretty clean. But 8 years later, those cream seats are now a light grayish. Grayish is a combination of gray and beige. That convinced me that as much as I like the look of light furniture, I'm going to choose medium to darker shades for my house. I can keep things light and bright with light paint on the walls and lots of natural light, but not light furniture. I have a friend who bought a very light sofa, light in color, and it was really pretty, but she asked us not to sit on it if we were wearing dark pants, especially jeans, because the dye from the dark clothing would stain her light sofa. Like I said, not practical. Who wants furniture that your friends and family can't sit on? Speaking of impracticality, number 3, a laundry room near the kitchen. I know that putting a washer and dryer in a mudroom near the kitchen is how houses have been designed for many years. But when I saw a couple of houses with that design in this year's Parade of Homes, it felt off. Today's homeowners want designs that are not just popular, but also practical. For most of us, it makes much more sense to put the laundry room near our bedrooms. So the place where we wash and dry our clothes is near the space where we store our clothes. Almost all laundry rooms in the Parade of Homes were near the bedrooms, but a couple of builders were still holding on to that combination laundry room / mudroom near the kitchen. If that works for your habits, great. But don't just do that because it's the way it's always been. Most houses that I saw this weekend had a small mudroom near the kitchen. And most of the time that so-called mudroom wasn't a room at all. It was just a wall with built-in cubbies and hooks, somewhere between the garage entry and the kitchen. Then a separate laundry area was found near the bedrooms. Think about how you do laundry and how you live. If you do laundry while you're cooking, like housewives did back in the day, then you might want your washer and dryer near the kitchen. If, on the other hand, you are often not in the kitchen when you do the laundry, locating your laundry room near your bedrooms will probably be much more convenient. Number 4, theme-tastic decor. I like a theme as much as anyone else. Farmhouse, beachy, industrial, or sports related. I like them all, but in my opinion, there should be moments or pockets of themed decor within a house, instead of having every square inch of the house reflect a certain theme. I saw 2 theme-tastic houses in the parade. One was a farmhouse fiasco, and the other had an over-the-top Las Vegas nightclub kind of vibe. Lots of glitz and glamour. Let me restate that. Too much glitz and glamour. When there's too much theme-tastic decor, your house feels less like a home and more like a set for a play or a movie. To make themed decor interesting, scatter themed pieces throughout the house or throughout a room, along with more conventional non-themey decor items or furniture. So if you love shiplap for a farmhouse feel, maybe you choose 2 or 3 rooms to add shiplap. But putting shiplap on every wall of the house might be a bit much. Then none of the walls are special. And if you like distressed furniture, add a couple of distressed or antique pieces alongside non-distressed items. That way the charm and character of the distressed furniture will stand out and not simply blend in. Theme decor can add a lot of interest and whimsy to your home, but you don't want to go overboard because then your house will come across as hokey and it'll look less expensive. Number 5, numerous living areas. Although most houses that I toured were on trend with 1 or 2 larger open concept living areas, a couple of houses had several small living areas throughout the house. When I say several, I mean 4 or 5 different living areas. And these areas were usually only big enough to seat 2 to 4 people. I like the idea of cozy nooks within larger rooms, such as a sitting area in a master bedroom or a reading nook in a family room. But a couple of houses in the parade had too many small rooms. All these small spaces made the layout feel choppy and disconnected instead of cozy. Plus, having too many small living areas can decrease the flow of the house, so be careful about how many small living spaces you put in your new house. Number 6, wrought iron railing with lots of scrolls and curlicues. Heavy wrought iron stair railings with lots of elaborate designs, such as scrolls and curlicues. I saw a couple of those, and they weren't cute. One was in the house that I talked to you earlier about that had the Las Vegas nightclub kind of theme. I think they wanted it to look expensive. Instead, it looked kind of dated and pseudo-Mediterranean. Those overly ornate railings, they're kind of in the same category as overly ornate kitchen cabinets. They were popular several years ago, but now they're out. Clean, simple lines are the rule for stair railings. They don't have to be completely plain and straight, but be careful not to go overboard with too many curlicues and swirls. Take a look at the show notes for examples of what's in and what's out. Number 7, extremely dark or black floors. Dramatic dark floors. I love the way they look, but they're just not practical. While I was touring a couple of houses with dark floors, the people working in those houses were sweeping while we were visiting because those dark floors show every bit of dust and dirt. They're beautiful, but they're really hard to keep clean. If you have your heart set on dark floors, just be prepared to do a lot of sweeping and mopping. Number 8, tiny exercise rooms. Several houses that I saw had exercise rooms, usually near the master bedroom. But interestingly, they were really small. Most of them had room enough for a treadmill and maybe one other piece of equipment like a stationary bike. But there was no empty floor space for stretching, yoga, jumping jacks, or even push-ups. If all you want to do is exercise on 2 pieces of equipment and you never want to do any floor exercises, then a very small home gym is fine. But if you want room to stretch or do anything on the gym floor, make sure you allot enough room to move around. To comfortably do yoga or floor exercises, you'll need a space at least 6 by 4 feet. A little bigger than that would be even better. So after you determine how many pieces of exercise equipment you want, make sure to leave at least an extra 6 by 4 foot space for floor work. Number 9, short baseboards. In episode 109, I talked about trends in molding and trim. In that episode, I told you that tall baseboards are being seen in many new homes, and that's exactly what I saw in most of the houses in Tulsa's Parade of Homes. When a rare house had a standard 3 to 5 inch baseboard, those baseboards looked kind of strange, sort of puny. Definitely think about adding taller baseboards to your house, which are now becoming more standard. See how you like the look of baseboards that are at least 6 inches tall. You can go even taller if your ceilings are higher. And number 10, standard height bathroom vanities. Those standard height vanities may be ideal in bathrooms for your children, but most new houses in the parade had comfort height vanities, especially in the master bathrooms. Standard height vanities are 32 inches high, while comfort height vanities are 36 inches high. These taller vanities are more ergonomic, so bending over to wash your face or rinse your mouth is much more comfortable. Unless you're shorter than average, or unless you're outfitting your bathrooms for young children, strongly consider ditching the standard height vanities for comfort height ones. Well, that's all I have for you this week. If BYHYU has helped you over the past months or years, and you want to support the show, the best way to do that is to spread the word. Let others know that you find the show helpful. You can do that by telling your friends and family and sharing it on social media. You can also support the show by posting a 5-star rating and review. It's much easier than it used to be. At the time of this recording, I only have 7 more reviews to get to 100. Just 7 more. All you have to do is write a sentence or 2 about why you like the show or what your favorite thing is about the podcast. Thank you to everyone who's already done that. And thank you in advance to the 7 of you who are going to do that this week. I hope these tips have helped you. And I hope you'll join me again next week for another episode of Build Your House Yourself University. BYHYU. Please remember that the purpose of this podcast is simply to educate and inform. It's not a substitute for professional advice. The information that you hear is based only on the opinions, research, and experiences of my guests and myself. That information might be incomplete, it's subject to change, and it may not apply to your project. In addition, building codes and requirements vary from region to region, so always consult a professional about specific recommendations for your home.